guys, welcome back to the channel, and for today's video I wanted to give you guys a review on Kraven. I've been slacking, guys. Like, I've had him done, well, not completely done. I've had him built up 6 stars, good gears and rolled and everything for at least a week and a half, and I've been meaning to get a review out to you guys, but I just haven't found the time. But we have time today, guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at my personal favorite member of the Sinister Six when we're talking about the comics. In the game right now, it's kind of debatable, and there are a few reasons why. Now, to be honest with you guys, I absolutely love how Kraven looks. I think it reflects what he is and who he is, which is a hunter. Absolutely love how he looks, love how his skills animate, and how he plays as a character. What I don't like is two things, to be honest: how low his damage is, and secondly, his leadership. Those are two things that really stand out to me about his kit that I don't like. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look about what I'm talking about. Leadership right here, 12% increase to critical damage. This is absolute garbage for a leadership, guys. Like, you can you can get a freaking 1-star obelisk, guys. 1 star, and it's higher than this. Like, take that in, guys. A 1-star obelisk that you can pick up from the memory mission, special mission, anywhere in the freaking shield lab, and it will be higher than this. So what is this really doing? Absolutely nothing. This should have been doubled at least, and even then it would not be good. So this is absolutely terrible, and I'm disgusted by it. Like, I'm moving on. Like, I'm disgusted. Absolutely terrible. Tier 2 passive, it's okay. It's not great. It's not going to make him do anything that he's not already capable of doing at tier 1, but it's going to make him a little bit better for what he can already do. And what he can do is Shadowland pretty well, and Speed Battle World. Those are 2 places outside of Conquest that he's gonna stand out. Conquest he can do really well because he has a good bit of CC in the kit and some iframes sprinkled in. Well, a good bit of iframe. So that's gonna make him really good for Conquest regardless of what rotation the AI chooses. But the 2 places that you can use him when you're in control is going to be Shadowland. He's gonna stand out for you guys there, and he's also going to stand out in Speed Battle World, especially if you get him to tier 2, because then he's gonna have that ignore dodge that's gonna make it great for killing those pesky Spider-Man and freaking Kate Bishop. Spidey's still gonna give him some trouble because of all the CC, but he has iframes as well to cancel out some of Spider-Man's iframes. So it's gonna be a cancel fest between both of you guys. It's gonna be a really good challenge, a really fun fight, and it's not going to be completely one-sided like how it normally is when you go up against Spider-Man in his homecoming uniform. Alright? However, keep in mind, since he is a speed character, outside of his iframes, he's still very squishy. He might just be like, if you have Kate Bishop and you enjoy playing Kate Bishop, think of him as being a male Kate Bishop in terms of the iframe and how he plays. And exactly the same as Kate Bishop, he's going to have really low defenses. He doesn't get the guaranteed dodge, so keep that in mind, and his damage is not the same as Kate Bishop. The only thing they share is just kind of how they move around and the iframes sprinkled into the kit. That's about the only thing that those 2 have in common. And since he is a supervillain, he's not going to be eligible for Speed ABX. And even if he was, I don't think he could break 100k. Normal AB on Speed Day, so Sundays, he could probably clear that for you, but that's about it. He is a hunter, that is what Kraven does, so he doesn't do very well when he's up against multiple enemies. He's all about locking down a singular target and suppressing them until they're completely annihilated, okay? So that's who Kraven is. So if you're thinking about putting him in a game mode where he's gonna be up against multiple enemies, like anything more than 2 or 3 people, don't think about it. His damage is gonna be very noticeably low, okay? Alright. So 5 skill right here is one of the good skills in this kit, to be honest. It is an iframe. It also has a stun on it. However, the stun is not very noticeable just because the iframe lasts as long as the stun, and the skill is actually just as long as well. So you don't really get to take advantage of that. However, if you have a really high attack speed, you may be able to get out of the skill after and have about a second left, and you can squeeze in one of his other skills. This skill right here is actually pretty controversial, guys, because I see a lot of people saying, what the hell, why does he have lasers coming out of his tits? Guys, they're not coming out of his tits, they're coming out of his freaking jacket, which is the lion's head. And a lot of people are saying, oh, we've never seen Kraven use lasers. I'm sure you guys probably haven't been reading about Kraven very long. However, if I can find a picture for you guys, I would put it up on screen here. He actually does use this move against Spider-Man in one of the comics a couple times. So yeah, it's actually legit. Netmarble didn't pull this one out their asses. It's actually a legit move, and how it works is similar to how it's supposed to work. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does have a stun like bind type effect to it in the comics, if I remember correctly. So it is a shout out to Netmarble because they actually paid attention to something that I never thought they would put in the game, because it's just like a goofy looking attack. So yeah, shout out to Netmarble. They did good by me there. Sadly, they didn't give him some more damage in the kit. This skill right here is a very, very good skill in terms of CC because it has a good bit of CC in it and it is a full iframe. Now, this skill right here works similar to how Punisher's skill works if you have the Netflix uniform. And what I mean by that is that this skill right here can be completely cancelled out if the enemy moves far enough away from you. So if you start off being pretty far from the enemy, then you jump into an iframe, which generally once you do that, the enemy will move back away from you a little bit. They can completely cancel out the skill, which is an iframe and one of the highest damaging skills in his kit. So if they do that, you're going to be immediately kicked out of your iframe, you're going to lose a ton of damage, and you're just going to be a really, really sad guy. Happens to me quite often, so what I'm going to suggest to you guys is making sure that you're pretty close to the enemy when you use it. If you're not, you're going to find yourself in trouble. Alright, because this is a key skill in the kit. The 5, the 4, and the 3 are 3 key skills that you need to utilize very effectively in order to get a lot done with him. Speed characters, low defense, iframes is the way to go. Alright, this right here is not very noticeable to me. 4-star passive, I like that it's a unique 4-star passive. I won't knock it because speed characters in this game get really terrible 4-star passives. So for you guys, it may be very noticeable in Shadowland, but to be honest, I have not really noticed it. For you guys, let me know if it's been very noticeable for you. For me, not so much. Will I say it's terrible? Absolutely not, because it's unique and it does stack all the way up to 25% less defense on the enemy, which is going to be a good way to scale his damage a little bit if it was actually noticeable. For me, I can't say I noticed it, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys. 3 skill right here is an iframe. It is an instant iframe. It lasts for a second. All Kraven does is he whistles and he calls in some animals to attack the enemy. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but you're using it mainly for the iframe in order to wait for your 5 and your 4 to come back off cooldown. It is a good skill. I really like it. Love seeing him summon animals to attack the enemy. I think that is a really good skill for him. Very, very fitting. Now onto the 2 skill. This 2 skill right here has a bind, and it actually does really good damage if you use it in Shadowland. However, outside of Shadowland and PvP, so like if you're trying to use him in World Boss, only use the first part of the skill because it has a little bit of movement and what seems to be an iframe at the beginning of the skill. If you let the skill play out, you will get punished in World Boss mode, which is not a place that he really shines, which is why I didn't mention it earlier. For me, however, in World Boss mode, when I use him, which you guys will see, I will use it a little bit in order to move around the enemy in order to dodge a few attacks. The 1 skill, same deal. Has a bit of movement. It doesn't have a bind. It does have a debuff effect on it, which is not shown here. I believe it's a movement speed debuff that it applies to the enemy. So yeah. Overall, Kraven, I really love you, but I'm gotta say you're gonna be a Shadowland character, a Battle World, Speed Battle World character, and Alliance Conquest. That is it. If you're looking for more than that from this guy, sadly, that is not the case right now. But that is just my opinion. If you're able to do far more than that with him, please let me know. Alright, so as for his gears, guys, he got some decent gears. They're decent, and as you guys can see, I'm almost all the way done in getting him ready to be tier 2'd. Right here, you want to go for something like I have. You want to have physical attack per level in the first 2, unless you get like a green stat here, and if you're like me, and you're like, you know what, I got the highest possible value, I'll just leave it. But physical attack per level for the first 2, and physical or all attack will work. Right here, he gets all defense and movement speed. Generally, I'll be upset about the movement speed, but he does get all defense, which is going to be great in order to give him some more survivability. Right here, you want to go ahead and get energy defense per level, mainly because he is a speed type, so he's designed to go up natively against blast types because he does have an advantage against them. So you want to make sure you roll for energy defense per level here because most of the blast types in the game deal energy damage. So you want to give yourself a little bit more of an advantage when you go up against those guys. For the first two, that's what you want to do. The rest, you want to roll for all defenses. Right here, you want to go for HP per level for the first two, ideally, and then you want to roll for HP in the remaining slots. HP is something that he does not get natively in his kit, so I'm going to highly recommend that you do not, absolutely do not, roll for dodge here. I know a lot of people will be tempted to roll for dodge since he is a speed character, but trust me, guys, you'd rather have guaranteed HP than have dodge. If you guys don't know how dodge works, check out my video on how that thing works. It doesn't work as effectively as a lot of you newer players think it does. Alright, right here, he gets dodge and crit rate. Kind of upset. I would really like this to be ignore defense. For right here, I have not optimized this slot yet. Ideally, you want to roll it all for ignore defense since he does get some skill cooldown natively, right? However, if your cards are not that great and you do in fact need more skill cooldown, then go ahead and roll it right here. As for the obelisk, guys, I'm going to tell you guys, do not go for a damage proc on him because none of his skills are going to deal out of the park damage. You want to go ahead and bump up his survivability and use him in the places that he shines, because otherwise you're going to be putting a wasted damage proc on him and he's not really going to give you too much out of it. As for the first two stats, you want to go for something like ignore defense since he does not get any natively, crit rate or crit damage in the second slot, and then invincibility. That's going to be the best possible setup for him. You can go for double crit rate or double crit damage, but either way, you're going to have to make sure that you max out your ignore defense. Alright? As for an ISO set, you have four choices. You can go for either Hawk's Eye if you need that skill cooldown and you don't want to roll it on the fourth gear. You can go for Power of Angry Hulk if you want more attack speed, or you can go for Overdrive like me to get the most out of your damage. So I roll for Overdrive, and that's what I like to go with. However, if you're a PvP mainly kind of guy, go for Drastic Density Enhancement. That's going to be the best defensive ISO set for him. Okay, you can also get Binary Power if you're having a hard time rolling for Drastic Density. But those are the ISO set that I'm going to recommend for him. Everything else is just garbage. Alright? Now, with that said, boys, let's go ahead and let's actually show you guys the details page. Sorry, ahead of myself. So right here, as you guys can see, I have 38.88% on the skill cooldown, 30% on the ignore defense, which is why I'm going to put an obelisk on him for some of that, 21% crit rate, and barely any attack speed. So now we're going to go ahead and take him into one of the places that I said he doesn't shine, and I'm going to show you guys why I say that. So we're going to go into World Boss mode, take the shortcut, we're going to go up against Supergiant, and we're going to put him with a leadership, standard 30% leadership, and I'm going to show you guys that even with a leadership, his clear time is very, very slow. We're not going to use any strikers, so we're throwing Ulik here and Mr. Wong. So let's do this, boys. Let's do this. Alright. So this right here should give you guys a good idea of what his survivability and his damage is like. Dealing with all the hazards, dealing with friggin' Supergiant, summoning these things constantly, and dealing with Black Bolt constantly appearing at the most inconvenient times. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Because if you don't... Oh, come on. Don't tell me he's going to fear me. Okay, I was about to say. Aren't you supposed to be gone? Oh, okay. That's cool, Kraven. That was cool. So he didn't have the damage to break that, guys. That should show you right there. And he has a leadership. Oh, come on. Really? Inconvenient times with the damn laser, man. Okay. Those damn lasers. I'm telling you guys. If only my lasers dealt as much damage as these things dealt. This key to winning with this guy is chaining your iframes effectively. If you don't, he's gonna die. Oh, come on. Don't be doing this. Just when I'm about, there we go. So look at that, guys. 3 minutes with a leadership. Granted, he doesn't have a damage proc, but even with a damage proc, I don't see him clearing this right here in under 2 minutes. So for me, guys, World Boss is not a place where I think he will excel. However, if your Kraven has been able to do way better than this in World Boss mode or in any other game mode besides the one that I say he will excel in, which is Shadowland, Alliance Conquest, and Speed Battle World, let us know in the comments. Let us know how you have him built and what are some of the crazy things you can do with him, because I would love to be able to use Kraven in all the game modes possible because I'm a really big Kraven fan and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Alright guys, so that's all I have to share for this one. Like always, thanks for watching. I hope it was informative and I'll see you guys in the next one. And I'm out.